The defendant pled guilty to 1 count of disseminating matter harmful to juveniles, a felony of the 5th degree, and 1 count of endangering children, a misdemeanor of the 1st degree. His case was referred for a pre-sentence report, psychological evaluation, and victim impact statement. Those have all been completed, and both parties are ready to proceed.
All right, thank you, Mr. Perez.
Thank you, Your Honor. We are ready to proceed, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Your Honor, just to remind the court, we're here on a disseminating information that is harmful to juveniles and or obscene, and 1 kind of child endangering. This situation occurred when my client had just turned 22 years old. He turned 22 in August of 2021, and he had been the music director for the high school ever since he was 15 years old, I think. So what he did when he was 15 years old, he was a music director. He worked with the other kids, and he was in a setting that he remained in until he got out of high school, did the same thing. Went away to college, got a degree in music, and during the time he was in college, he still came back to the high school to be the music director and work on plays and things like that. So ever since he was 15 years old, he worked in the same setting at the high school, dealt with peers his own age, all the way through while he was in college. When he graduated from college, he came back. He was given an independent contractor agreement with the school. They indicated he wasn't an employee at that point, but an independent contractor, although they also made him a substitute teacher. During this course at the school, doing what he'd done ever since he was 15, dealing with kids, not totally developed at just turning 22 years old. He met this Jenna in the school, was attracted to her. Apparently she was attracted to him. They had a consensual relationship for a few months. He realized that was inappropriate based on his relationship to the school, cut off the relationship,
Hold on, Mr. Perez. Can you guys come up here real quick?
In any event, after that, subsequently the police investigated this. When they were contacted, he totally cooperated with the police. He admitted what he had done. He indicated it was inappropriate. He indicated he suffered and thought about it. He was referred to for psychotherapy, and the court received a report. I want to just read one little aspect of the report where they indicate that he did not indicate any attraction towards children, just an attraction to those who he viewed as his peers. The victim in this case was 17 years old and engaged in a consensual relationship, and at just turning 22 is basically one of his peers. It says that individuals that were his peers in high school became his students within an instant, and he may have struggled to create healthy boundaries surrounding that change. His consistent placement in a high school environment from the ages 14 to 22 may have contributed to his loose boundaries and increased connection with those who may have been in a similar developmental age. I've gotten to know Mike a little bit. He's kind of an amazing guy. Done a lot for other people. You have tremendous letters of support, a number of them that talk about Mike's accomplishments, his relationship with them, the things he's done for people, his intense remorse over the situation. He's expressed that remorse to people, to his priest. He's counseled with other people about it, and it's very consistent that he's been remorseful about this event, as he first indicated, I think, to the victim in this case, when he apologized to her, as he indicated to the police, as he indicated to his friends and family that have written letters on your behalf, as he indicated to the parish priests, that he's really suffered with this and his remorse is genuine, and that he's accomplished a number of things to try and put this whole situation behind him and improve. And what's interesting is that some of the support letters that you have talk about how at the time he was a boy and now he's a man, and that they've seen changes in him from the discussions they have had. And they're talking about a kid who just turned 22, still acting like a kid or acting like a boy, attracted to somebody he's working with, missed the boundaries, how he's developed since then, how he's considered that, how he's grown from that, how they view him as a man who would never make a poor judgment like that again. So this is a situation where I think that I don't expect anything, if there's any recidivism here in that regard. And I want to briefly go through the court with some of the elements that the court has to consider in a sentence of this nature. And I know that one of the factors the court has to consider is whether it's more or less serious or not, is the relationship between the defendant and the victim in this. And I understand it is somewhat of a position of trust, more of a coaching type situation. It's sort of a hybrid of that, because he did the same thing as a student, and now, like the psychologist indicates, now his age has changed, and that's basically all that's changed. Theoretically, he could have had a relationship with a student when he was 14, 15, 16, 17, or 18, and I don't know if we would be here today. Again, we're only here on the dissemination and the child endangering. Whether the conduct is less serious, I think there are factors under there that whether the victim induced or facilitated the offense, whether he acted under strong provocation. I think if whether he expected to cause physical harm, whether there are substantial grounds to exist or mitigate, and I think some of those factors all play into this case to make it less serious. Whether recidivism is more likely, I don't see this as a case where there would ever be recidivism. In any event, he is genuinely remorseful. He has no history of criminal convictions. The only thing he has in his entire life is one speeding ticket. Respectful towards the police, respectful towards others, admitted everything, didn't try to hide anything. So for all those things, I think recidivism is less likely. I know that Mike, you're going to want to talk to Mike a little bit, and he's prepared for that. I would like to point out to the court there are a number of people here in the courtroom supporting him who know about this. Everybody who wrote a letter to you knew about the charges he was facing, and still felt strong enough about him to ask this court to consider what a wonderful man he has been to them, and what the potential he has in the community, and the potential he has to help others, and potential he has to society and to himself. So we would ask the court to consider probation. I don't think that incarceration is necessary in this case, and so I'm asking the court to consider probation for Mr. Subai.
Thank you, Mr. Subai. What do you want to tell me before I impose sentence in this case?
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to publicly take responsibility and speak on my actions. First, I would like to extend my sincerest and truest apology to the Willoughby Eastlake community. To the staff and students and teachers, thank you for always showing me support in my academic and professional careers. It truthfully pains me knowing that how much I let you all down. To the students, I'm deeply sorry. I was not the role model that I sought to be for you all. Through my lapse of judgment, I let you all down, and for that I'm truly sorry. To my friends and coworkers, please accept my apology. I let all of you down and was not the man that you saw me as. to my family, especially my mother and my late father. I'm ashamed in how I acted. This was not the man you raised me to be.
Did you ever interrupt him so he doesn't mention, don't mention her name specifically?
Yeah, I know. Okay. To my girlfriend and my new family, I cannot tell you how sorry I am for letting you all down. You've all showed me love and support, and for that I'm truly grateful. I always struggled with knowing love and understanding care, and I finally understand what it means to be loved. For the victim and her family, I know my actions were wrong, and I brought so much hurt and turmoil to your family. I cannot change for what I did, and I'm truthfully sorry for losing my focus and letting my lack of judgment affect your daughter. I'm extremely sorry for what I did to you, and know that I only pray for forgiveness. Your Honor, through all of this, I have been growing in many ways, most importantly spiritually. To this time, I've reflected, I've prayed upon this situation, and I know my actions, and I take full responsibility for them. There has not been a moment in time that I was not honest about my situation, that I was not remorseful about my situation. I know that my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, died for my sins, and through His grace, I'm made new. Know that I'm disgusted, embarrassed, humiliated, and ashamed of myself. I just pray that you see me for the man I am now, and not for the mistake I made back then. Thank you, Your Honor.
Anything else, Mr. Perez?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mrs. Zuri?
Your Honor, at this time, the victim would like to make a statement.
Okay.
I knew I'd have to do this. I think it's the only thing that could possibly help me start trying to move on. I was just freshly 17 years old, doing what I loved, singing and performing, loving the way it made people happy, loving the way it made me happy. I played the role of a girl in high school theater production. That was the definition of innocence. I was so happy I would be able to forever remember her as being my first role I've ever played. But now I hate it. I hate thinking about it. My whole first experience of doing what I had just found out that I had loved is now ruined. I have not been able to sing the same way since. My mind fills up with thoughts of him that make me physically feel sick. I can't do the one thing that would usually calm me down without feeling so sick to my stomach that I can nearly throw up. It's no longer enjoyable. The teacher who initially made me realize my true potential was also the man who took sexual advantage of me over and over again. I will probably never get into theater again, a huge dream I once had. I wasn't allowed to talk to anyone but him, as he made me make absolute sure of, which caused me to be completely cold and distant to all of my friends, who very quickly thought of me as a liar and incredibly fake for not telling them about this guy. I couldn't tell my parents either, so we grew apart. I was seen as the person who was now too good for everyone and the person who keeps secrets. Not just secrets from anyone, but big secrets from my best friends, sisters, parents, therapists, teachers, directors, and other close family members. I was completely emotionally dependent on him. He was the only person I truly consistently talked to. I loosely describe it as Stockholm Syndrome now. I felt I had ruined so much because of him. He was all I had, and I would have to be okay and content with that. I would have ruined my then innocent self for him, which gives me the most repulsive feeling when I think back on that mindset I had now. The amount of anxiety I had on a daily basis after doing anything with him, the amount of depression I was suffering through would probably break any other person. I could not eat. I could not sleep. I never felt truly happy. I changed my anxiety and depression medications over and over again trying to find relief, and went through countless different therapists who just didn't get it. The only worse I felt was when I would do something sexual for a guy. Michael Shubai taught me that, whether he knew it or not. I destroyed myself and completely disregarded my values after him. I felt like nothing if a man didn't want me. I did whatever to please him, because if he was happy, I would feel better about myself. I am not and never will be the same person I was before him. I did things I can never take back. I don't get to say I waited until marriage anymore. I don't get to say I waited for someone who I actually cared about and who cared about me. You will never understand doing something consensually that you absolutely did not want to do until you feel like you have to do it, and I hope you never have to understand that. I will forever miss who I was before him, and I will forever be affected by what I went through. I treated myself like I was nothing after him. I acted as if I had no feelings. I truly hated myself and still struggle immensely to this day. Although this is just barely brushed on the surface, I hope you better understand now some things I went through. I pray every day that he'll never hurt another person like this again.
Thank you. Mrs. Zuri?
Your Honor, I don't have much to add to that, other than to say that the defendant held a position of trust. He was serving in a school, and he knew better than to engage in a relationship with a child. He was the adult in the relationship, and there are consequences. This wasn't an isolated incident, but a relationship that continued for approximately 3 months. So the state, although we are recommending community control, we are also requesting 120 days in jail with 1 day of jail time credit, that the no contact order with the victim be continued, and that any recommendations of Dr. Rinsberg be adopted, or that the defendants engage in a subsequent mental health evaluation and follow recommendations.
All right, thank you. I have reviewed the pre-sentence report. I reviewed Dr. Rinsberg's report, as well as the report provided by Advanced Psychotherapy Services. I reviewed the victim impact statement, reviewed the letters in support of Mr. Zubai, listened to counsel, listened to the victim, listened to Mr. Zubai. I've taken all that into consideration. I've considered all the factors set forth in 29-29-11, 29-29-12, and 29-29-13. Mr. Zubai pled guilty to the offense of disseminating matter harmful to juveniles, a felony of the 5th degree, as well as endangering children, a misdemeanor of the 1st degree. And for that, you will face the sentence. Now, what Mrs. Zuri said when she got up to speak was that you were the adult in the room, she was the student in the room. You were 22, I believe. She was 17. The actions you took were actions that somebody in your position should not have taken with somebody in that position. Clearly. You know that. You indicated upon police contact that you knew that, and you indicate that today. What you said to me, though, was that you wanted me to consider the man that you are today rather than the one that you were a year and 8 months ago, somewhere around that period of time. And that's the one you wanted me to sentence. Well, that's the one I am sentencing, okay? But the actions that you took, you have to account for, and I think you know you have to account for that. And there's, penalty to that. Now, when I talk about the factors, I'm not going to go through the individual factors. Counsel is aware of them, and you are probably aware of them through your counsel, Mr. Perez. Okay. There are factors to be considered, and based upon the degree of the offense. It's a felony of the 5th degree. And so in consideration of all the information that's before me, on counts 1 and count 2, I'm going to place you on community control for a period of 3 years. On count 2, the misdemeanor offense, I'm going to sentence you to 45 days in the Lake County Jail with credit for 1. On counts 1 and 2, the terms of your community control are you have no drugs or alcohol and you'll be screened. You're going to get a psychological evaluation and follow all recommendations. You're going to maintain full employment You're to have no contact with the victim. You are going to complete the decision points program, which you'll begin during the term of your incarceration, and follow all recommendations. And you're going to pay the costs and supervision fees associated with this case. Ms. Randallson, any other terms you think are applicable?
No, sir, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Zubai, do you understand the terms of your community control?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. If you do not comply with the terms of your community control, and the state will file a motion to terminate your community control, and if I find you violated, you face 12 months in prison. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
That's on count one. And if that happens when you get out, you might be on post-release control for up to 2 years under the Adult Parole Authority with conditions. If you violate the conditions, the parole authority can return you to prison for up to 9 months for each violation, up to 1/2 of my sentence. If the violation's a new felony, you could get an additional consecutive prison sentence for that violation, the maximum of which would be the greater of 12 months or the time you have left under your post-release control.
Thanks for watching. If you follow real courtroom cases like this, leave your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more authentic court proceedings.